Hailey, there's so much going on, and people are really carrying a lot of that stress. What is a mindfulness tip that might make a difference?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of tips like floating around there, right? Like that people have heard of. And I think that the hard thing about mindfulness is that it can feel really like out of reach, and it can feel like you need to do a lot of it for it to make a difference. One of my favorite like beginner tips is to take something like an orange is a really good example, or a mandarin, and to peel it and to just like really be in that experience. Like, as strange as it might sound, like you peel that orange, you like have that whole experience. Like, you're really aware of how it feels. You're really aware of how it smells, because mindfulness, while meditation is the thing we talk about the most, there are so many different things under that umbrella. And so having a mindful like orange moment is probably one of my favorite recommendations, just because anybody can do it and we all have to eat at some point throughout the day. And so I like that one because you have a prop, you have something right in front of you to keep you on task, and also you get some vitamin C, so it's not terrible in that way either.
Well, Hailey, with all of the information that's bombarding us, it really is becoming more important than ever before to have that mindfulness, to be able to stay on task. Any other thoughts that you'd like to leave with people?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of expectations that people have for themselves. I think that's one of the hardest things, is just people expect so much from themselves. And one of my favorite shortcuts to increasing how kind we are to ourselves is when you catch yourself being really, really, really harsh. Take a breath and think about if this is something you'd say to like a friend, if it's even something you'd say to like somebody you don't really care for. Most of the time the answer is no, and that can be a really good shortcut to like being kinder. I also just really like baby steps. Like, if you're feeling really overwhelmed, like if your house is getting really messy, if you do dishes for 2 minutes, 2 minutes less of dishes, 2 minutes less of whatever chore it is that's overwhelming you. We don't have to do it all at once, and we're all just, doing what we can to get by. And so every little bit counts.
Hailey, some really practical tips that people can easily put into practice. I love that object of really being in the moment with the orange, and then just being kinder to ourselves. That's such a great question, because I feel like we're much kinder to other people. We offer much more grace to other people than we do to ourselves. And then I believe sometimes with everything that we're seeing on social media, it makes it look like it's so easy. And so sometimes we don't cut ourselves enough slack and we get really overwhelmed. We don't know where to start. I love breaking it down into simple, easily achievable steps. Hailey Holland, Director of the Counseling Center at the College of Eastern Idaho, thank you for sharing some really great tips with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.